So if you're not caught up with Magical Girl already, you might want to watch another video because this has a major spoiler. Okay, first of all, the fourth wall, breaking the fourth wall, I feel like the trope has become so popular now that I'm not really surprised when it happens. Really, I think before it was more for shock, like, oh, just a shock factor, just to surprise the audience. But now I've seen it in so many movies, so many shows, that at this point I'm not too surprised when it happens. But when they use it to drive the plot, like to drive the story, well, that's actually different. Really. I know that this show is a parody, so obviously you can't really take anything seriously. And yeah, the manager did mention, hey, screw the main plot, let's go do something else. And I actually fell for it.
あの店員、箸入れるの忘れてる。気の利かない店員はこの世から塵となって滅びればいいのに。売れっ子アイドルのマネージャーやってます。今日はそんな僕の生活をちょっぴり紹介するよ。本編とかどうでもいいよね。
I got really mad. I yelled at the screen. I was like, why? Why are they deviating when things are finally getting good? Well, not finally, but you know, they're developing. And then they pull something on us.
ほら！もうお前たちはすぐそうやって。ほら、やめなさい！やめなさい！
That was not a deviation. That was the actual development for revealing who the Demon King was. That was the real deal. And they have done a side story in the past with the episode where the anime industry is in jeopardy, with the Godzilla episode. That was like a side story, and I wasn't gonna be shocked. Like, okay, they're breaking the fourth wall like they normally do. They're probably gonna put us on a side story, and then we'll get back to the main plot when we go to the next episode. That's what I actually expected in that moment. But when they used that joke to fool us and then introduce a plot twist, that was interesting. Now, in retrospect, it was pretty obvious that the manager would be the true villain. I mean, come on. Every show, they usually introduce one suspicious person or one lower division villain who's never the real villain. I can think of many examples, but then I'll go off topic. So I wasn't really shocked that our initial suspect was not actually the villain, but I was shocked at how the revelation is so obvious, but they did it so well. I think the last time I felt this way was with a certain novel called The Morning Hours by Paula Trek-DeBoard. The huge revelation in that novel, in retrospect, it seemed pretty obvious, but she hinted so much, but it was so subtle. It was very small hinting throughout the story. But you only noticed it after you put it all together, after the revelation was made. I think with this show it's similar because even though it's so obvious, it was still shocking at the time. And that's really interesting because when you think about plot twists, it doesn't have to be the most outrageous thing. It can be an obvious revelation, but if you write it well, and if you're creative, it can still have a shock factor. And that's what they did with this show. They did it pretty well. I have to say, it's ironic he loves magical girls, even though he's against magical girls. It kind of makes sense now that now that we actually step back and look at all the clues. It makes a lot of sense. And yeah, I guess it's obvious, but it's still really mind-blowing because it's how they introduce the plot twist that really matters. It's not about what the twist is, it's about how you pull it off. That's basically how it is. And it just goes to show that comedic tropes, like breaking fourth wall, they can't be taken seriously. They aren't just for fun. You can actually use them to drive the plot. I mean, this is like an evolutionary use of the fourth wall. Really, it is. I really don't know what to think anymore. It's like I got pranked. I really did. Anyways, if you haven't seen the show, I highly recommend it. It's kind of out there and it's not for everyone, but if you like parodies and, I don't know, anything that's really weird, I highly recommend it. That is all, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.